University campuses are blocked. Bunch of brainless people are simply doing hunger strikes, apparently a couple of hours. Streets are full of brainless people who are simply standing up for Hamas. Apparently they think they can do something useful for them by causing damages to public property as well as causing damage to humanity. Versus Muslim world is simply staying away from what Hamas is doing, and they don't even want any Palestinians in their land. In Scotland, it has been expressed that we need to provide place for Palestine people, invite them in our land. And same thing is happening different part of the world as well. When I am looking at what Hamas is doing is I am seeing Hamas as a terrorist organization who is damaging to humanity. And right now, with my own eyes, what Hamas published for themselves is helping me to see that. So I have Robert Spencer with me, who is expert on jihad. And I just want to figure out, with help of him, how come, what went wrong that now whole Western worlds are supporting terrorist organization Hamas?
It's because of the ascendancy of the left in the West. And so leftists tend to see these things in Marxist terms. And so they claim that Israel is a settler colonialist state and has to be eradicated in support of the ultimate goal of creating a socialist internationalist order that erases distinctions between human beings in the name of equity. And so a state that's so built on particularities as Israel is, a Jewish state, then it has to go. And so these people think they are fighting for the indigenous people and for the oppressed, when actually the indigenous people of Israel are the Israelis. And the oppressed are not oppressed at all, but have equal rights in Israel. But this is the Marxist propaganda that the people in the universities have been fed, and they don't know any better. So they are going along with what they've been told.
I used to think you need to have little bit working brain to get to university, study there. But what I'm seeing last 6-7 months with the supporters of terrorist organization at university campuses, and even you think about it, like if the leader of the terrorist organizations are saying well done to the university students for what they are doing, I think it was like Iranian leader was saying like thank you for what you are doing, as well as Hamas leader was saying the same thing to the Western students. Now I come to conclusion, actually, you don't need to even have a brain to go to university, which is sad, but that's how it looks like. I have seen the banners where students were carrying to say, kill the hostages now. I have seen people who wearing shirts where says Hamas 7, simply like celebrating what happened on 7th October. And I have seen, of course, the reaction of the police in England, how police is dimmy to the supporters of Hamas. I asked a couple of people who were in the demonstrations if they can point out to me where Gaza was. So they didn't know. Like people don't even know where the country is, but they are coming alongside of it. And they've been brainwashed in every platform. So people just saying, oh yeah, yes, Hamas, yes, support Hamas, support people of Palestine. What do you think can be done to put those people's brain back in their head?
Well, they've been thoroughly propagandized. They believe what they believe because the universities today in the United States and all over the West are not institutions of higher learning anymore. You don't need any brains, as you noted, to go there. They are centers for propaganda and leftist indoctrination. And they take these students who have not gotten a good educational foundation in primary school or high school, and then they fill them with this nonsense. And so what needs to be done is a genuine effort of education. And so I commend you for having this YouTube channel and others who are trying to educate people by telling them the truth about these issues. Just like Prime Minister Netanyahu said this morning that the only thing to do to counter all the lies is to keep on telling the truth and showing the contradictions in what the people are saying. For example, like I noted before, that they claim the Palestinian Arabs are the indigenous people of the land. So if you come across these people telling you this, show them the archaeology and the history of the land, and that the Israelis were there from thousands of years ago, and the Arabs didn't show up until the 7th century. So there are many ways to approach things, many falsehoods and lies that have to be corrected. But that's what we have to do, is simply stand on the truth and continue to say it, no matter how difficult it is to do so.
Of course, if I am correct, that Arabs, when they turn up the Israel in 7th century, they didn't turn up with falafel or baklava or roses. They turned with the sword. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. They conquered the land. The whole area of the Middle East that's Arabic speaking actually is colonized land. And so these people claim to be against colonization. If that were true, then they should be against the colonization of North Africa and the Middle East. And the fact that people who are not Arabs and not from Arabia are speaking Arabic. Why are they speaking Arabic? Why am I speaking English? I'm in the United States because the United States was a colony of England. That's why. Why do people in Egypt or Algeria or Morocco speak Arabic? Because they were colonized by the Arabs. And yet the people in these colleges and universities, they don't have any idea about this. If they were really against colonization, they would be for Israel. But they haven't been taught the correct history. They've been taught lies.
You were expressing how important it is to tell the truth. If I remember correctly, you turned up to the university recently to tell the truth, teach the history from the historical perspective, and you were not allowed?
That's right. I was asked to speak at UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. I went over there, and the event was canceled at the last minute. And the university then actually lied, because they let me into the room where it was happening. And meanwhile, there was an incredible police presence. I was brought onto the campus surrounded by police, 15 or 20 police officers, and walked through the area with the police on high alert. I felt like the president or something, because all these police around me. But if I just walked in on the campus alone, I would certainly have been attacked, because these leftists are so self-righteous and so blinded that they think that those who oppose them are evil, and they don't hesitate to do violence to those whom they hate and fear. But anyway, there were all the police there. I got onto the campus. I went into the room and made some videos. This was not what the event was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an event open to the whole university. I was very willing and ready to have a hostile audience and deal with hostile questions, but nobody was allowed in except for the 10 or 15 students who had invited me. And that was it. And then the university lied and claimed that the event had gone on as planned. That was not true. It was not supposed to be a closed event or a video event. It was supposed to be something that was open to the whole university. They didn't allow that, because when you're propagandists, you don't want to allow your propaganda to be countered with opposing ideas. That will cause the people to think, and they don't want their people to think. So they didn't allow me to speak.
Versus Bible says, my people are destroyed for their lack of knowledge.
Exactly.
So telling the truth again and again is important. Yet we look at you, how they are being treating you. We are getting discouraged that it becomes difficult to tell the truth. I'm speaking this from the Christian perspective. So what do you think, as a Christian or as a church, we should be doing? Continue to tell the truth, but also not come alongside of the terrorists, whatever they are doing, however they try to justify their disgusting and disturbing actions.
Well, when they try to justify them, then we can explain how that justification comes from Islamic teachings, how this in itself indicates that Islam is not from God, because God is not the God of cruelty or pain or suffering. And Allah in the Quran seems to enjoy inflicting it with all the lavish descriptions of hell and pouring molten lead down the throats of the damned in hell and so on. This is a demon, it's not a God. And we keep on telling these things, remember, in season and out of season, which means when it's easy to tell the truth and when it's difficult to tell the truth. Nowadays, it's getting more difficult to tell the truth. The left is authoritarian. They're in power everywhere. They want to crush dissent. They're trying to silence us. They have silenced us in many ways. But really, we have a very easy job, even when the truth is out of season, because it's the truth, because it's reality. And so we just simply are affirming reality. That's the easiest thing to do in the world. They're the ones that have the tough job because they have to keep shoring up their lies with more lies and more straining of credulity. The truth always breaks through. And so we have to hold fast to it. We know, of course, that the way of the cross that every Christian has to walk, but after the cross comes the resurrection.
Yeah. Thank you very much for reminding us what kind of God we worship. God we worship doesn't want us to suffer. Therefore, he steps into the world, suffers for us, and then tells us on the cross that he loves us from everlasting to everlasting. He wants us to spend eternity with him. But for us to handle all that is we continue to tell the truth. Truth will stand on its own feet. It might be difficult, it might be tough, but still, truth is the one who is going to change the world.
Indeed.
So thank you very much for joining me and helping us to think this as well. God bless you.
You too.